Welcome back. Thank you. You're still watching Channels Beam on Channels Television. We've been discussing the NIS problem, the tragedy that occurred last weekend, and unemployment in Nigeria. We're now joined by Mr. Silva, whom I introduced earlier on the show. Mr. Silva, thanks for coming on the program this afternoon.
Sure, it's good to be here.
When you look at the whole issue, the federal government last year created 1.6 million jobs, according to President Goodluck Jonathan. And then he said this year, the budget 2014 is looking at creating more jobs and including more people in terms of growth and the budget in terms of the economy. What's your take on that?
Well, you said it out. The NIS exercise actually exposed the fact that we've got a multitude of unemployed people in Nigeria. And it just shows that government is either not doing enough to create jobs, or the budget, as you stated, perhaps is not meeting its targets, or we as people, as our private citizens, are not doing enough to equally create jobs to support the government.
Going by all that you've said, where does the private sector come in? Well,
in recent years, people have been encouraged to go the line of entrepreneurship to create jobs. The federal government has created some programs, notably the UWIN program, to create jobs and all. But given the backlog, I would like to use that word backlog, where we're coming from, all these efforts have been like tiny drops, where tiny drops really to solve the huge problem we have. So the private sector is coming up. It's a case of government making the environment suitable for private businesses to thrive so that they can create jobs. So it's a cycle kind of. The economy has to be in good shape for people to establish businesses that are thriving, for them to create more openings for people to have jobs. So if this is not happening, if the economy is not really in shape, then people can't create business and then they can't create jobs.
Okay, you just made mention of the UWIN program. I mean, if you look at it, UWIN, Shopee, where have all these programs, how have they keyed into this sector of creating more jobs in the country?
Okay, well, I don't know about Shopee. I know of the UWIN. UWIN is in its third year now. Somehow I've kind of followed it, and I have a couple of friends who have been part of it. I know that they've given grants. The UWIN program gives grants to young Nigerians with business ideas ranging from 2 million to 10 million. You write a business plan, it is scrutinized, and those are found very viable are given. It's not a loan, it's like a grant from the government to raise your business, given that you're going to create jobs. You're going to employ X number of people, and then these businesses given these grants are supervised over a period to ensure that they're actually doing what they stated they would do. So for the most part, for the much I know a couple of 5 to 6 people who have accessed these grants and have established their businesses, and they had to they had to resign from the 9 to 5 they were doing to actually do this, and they've created jobs. But then, like I said earlier, it's pretty inadequate at this point to actually solve the problem we have. And like people say, and I also say, government can't create all the jobs we need. It has to be private sector driven. And so UWIN really is a step in the right direction. I hope government can expand that, and that some other private sector-led initiatives could come up from it as well. Okay.
All right, now going back to the main discussion, of course, the Nigerian Immigration Service had this aptitude test, conducted around the country, and so many people, there were so many people, they had so much, they took more than they could handle. To what extent will you rate their competency, and how well did they do during this aptitude test?
Yes, I think, let me start by saying that the NIS strategy is tragedy, really. It's a huge embarrassment to us as a nation. It's something that shouldn't have happened in an organized society, in a society where government is really thinking and planning. Any agency of government that is out to do recruitment should have set out, this is the number of people who can take, this is the number of people who can cater for, based on the number of vacancies available. Right now we're hearing that the vacancy really is for less than 5,000 people, and you had over 500,000 people applying. So well, people who are very conversant with online portals for employment have made statements that you can monitor it. You can know at a point, say, okay, we're closing it at this point because we can't handle more than this. And even at the point where they had taken more than they could handle, was adequate arrangement made for these people to take these exams? Couldn't it have been staggered? Couldn't it have been phased? How do you get that multitude of people into a stadium without proper crowd control mechanisms and all that? It's just a huge embarrassment and a huge letdown that such a thing could happen in the 21st century by a government institution as big as the Immigration Service.
So just going by what you just said now, what exactly is the way forward?
The way forward on the immigration program, well, the people have called for the refund of the money. Government has taken certain actions. I heard the president made pronouncements about cancelling the exercise. I think that's in the right direction, first of all, because I didn't see any reasonable thing coming out of it. Who was going to mark those heap of papers? What was going to be the merit in it? You know, people have already, in fact, people allege that those jobs have been taken already, that the exercise was just to fulfill all righteousness, basically. So I think right step in the right direction. The exercise should be cancelled. The process for recruiting should be reviewed. And those people, some people have asked for a refund. That's if it could be done, because people have raised the fact that that will cause another stampede of its own. You know, if you call people to come and collect back their 1,000, except we are getting innovative, maybe using some kind of mobile money solutions to give them back their money. The way forward really is for government agencies to understand the huge responsibility on their shoulders and get things done the right way the first time, so that we don't have a situation where you have to have a crisis first and then we run into panic mode and start crisis management and everybody's shouting and we can't hear each other.
All right, Mr. Silva, thanks for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts with us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. As a social media program, we do appreciate your messages coming through our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, as well as Google+. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll read some of those comments and then review the 5 most viewed videos on our YouTube channel for the past week. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. Another passion-driven discussion. But don't forget, both conversations can be found on our website. It's channelstv.com, and our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/channelsweb. Let's now take a look at some of your comments before reviewing the 5 most viewed videos on our YouTube channel for the past week.
The 5th most viewed video in the past week is Channels Television's report on a baby factory discovered in Ogun State by the State Police Command. 8 pregnant girls were rescued from the scene.
They will sell it.
How much do they sell it?
300.
Speak up.
Speak up.
I said 300.
300.
The 4th most viewed video shows an applicant at the NIS recruitment exercise, which led to the death of some job seekers. According to this applicant, the immigration authority caused the stampede.
I was there before 7. So when I was there, so we are begging them to open the gate. The crowd are getting too much on us. So they refused to open the gate. They still lock the gate. So people who are at the back were pushing us. So the crowd was too much. So people had to march on top of people. They had to push the gate down.
The video showing 2 officers of the Federal Road Safety Corps in a bloody scuffle with a bus driver gained a lot of attention as it was the 3rd most viewed video in the past week.
Those injured are receiving medical care, while a few others have been taken to the Garki and Asokoro General Hospitals.
Intimidation and inhuman treatment by security officials.
We are not animal. Why are they treating us like that? Why are they beating us? Everybody that is here, we are graduates. We are not tout here. Please, we want God to do something nice for us.
Those were some of your comments on the videos you watched the most on our YouTube channel for the past week. Despite the investigation ordered by the Senate and the House of Representatives and the reported order by the President to the Interior Minister to return the application fees paid by applicants, Nigerians, either rightly or wrongly, maintain that the aptitude test was badly carried out and has led to the death of some of the applicants. They, however, believe that it is a lesson the authorities need to take note of in conducting future tests, not only for the Nigerian Immigration Service, but for other federal government agencies that recruit en masse. This is where the bus stops, and on behalf of the entire web team, thank you for watching and see you next week. I am Victor Matthias.